Oh, we're 8-2. We're leading the AFC West. We got a big game coming up around the corner, but I figured what better time after, almost the midweek or the midseason, week 10 in the books, talk about the state of the Broncos. How are we feeling about the rookies, the free agents, Bo Nix, the coaches, you name it. Let's get into all of it. Let's get your thoughts as well as we go live on the Denver Bronco Roundup. Oh, I don't know. How about right about now? Welcome in to another episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have an amazing sponsor named Morgan Trinkets. My name is Keith Brugman, but I'm not alone. I got the judge, Jody Moncrief, along for the ride, as well as all of you, the posse, coming in here. Questions, comments, thoughts, ideas. Like I said, we're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have an amazing sponsor, Morgan Trinkets, but we're also on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And Jody, right before we went live, I was jumping on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network page over on Facebook, and I realized we had 999 followers. 990. Now, Denver Bronco Roundup gets a little bit more love, and we appreciate all the love there. We would really appreciate some love over on YouTube. If you're over checking in, make sure you are subscribing to the channel. We'd certainly appreciate and love that a ton. But 999 followers over on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network Facebook page. Looking for 1K, baby. Looking for 1K. The Broncos are looking to continue to just lead the AFC West. We put a game in the books on Sunday. It was one of a few, though, Jody, as I went through the gamut of games that we all got to maybe see highlights of, or at least look at the scores, or maybe we were unlucky enough to tune into Monday Night Football. Similar score, my friend. Similar score. Teams aren't blowing out teams up and down the scoreboard every single Sunday. Denver Broncos get their win. We'll take it, buddy. But it is getting a little bit tougher as the season progresses, especially teams like the Broncos who haven't gotten their bye week. Welcome in, Jody, the judge. Can't wait to get your thoughts on this team this evening.
They are. If you go off of what Sean Payton says, they are what their record says they are. They're 8-2.
No buts. No buts.
No buts. You got the best defense in football. Just like to see this offense get it, on track. I mean, there's some wild stats on Bo Nix. I mean, he basically leads all categories in the fourth quarters: passing, touchdown, rushing, yards, you name it, comebacks. But in the first three quarters, I think he's only above Cam Ward or something like that.
Might be ahead of Cam Newton.
But so if they can figure that out, so there's some things to work on, but we're 8-2, and this defense is carrying us. Getting a little bit of the injury bug. I mean, this is the one guy that I feared the most getting injured was Dobbins, just because of what's behind us. This is where I go back to. I wish we would have kept Estimate just so we had a bigger type back. got these little tiny guys on the roster, and they get smaller as you go. Jaleel, Deuce Vaughn. But this might be a breakout game for RJ Harvey. Maybe it's time for him to ease the mind of a lot of Broncos fans. Maybe ease the mind of Peyton on that he can pass block. But like I said earlier in the chat, I think this will be Bo Nix's best game of the year. And if Denver is able to pull this win off, then they're serious Super Bowl contenders, and you got to do whatever you can to get the 1 seed so you have home field advantage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jody just ran the gamut. I told him what our agenda was going to be, and he's like, I'll talk about the first part, the second part, and I'm going to talk about Friday as well, as I expect Jody to be on here talking about the upcoming game versus the Chiefs. We always go live and talk about that game on Fridays. Jody, I'm going to back you up a little bit, but you're absolutely right. You had a lot of great points. I'm going to say hello to a few of our posse members who came in here, and they're already coming in here, and they're coming in here early. They're coming in here fired up. They're coming in here ready to go. And I'm going to start with Paul, because it was like one of the first things on our agenda. He says, do it for Alex. Let's go get Mahomes. Alex Singleton got popped for a random drug test, Jody. And usually when you hear bad news off of a random drug test, you're kind of putting your hands over your head and thinking, what was he thinking? But Alex Singleton got bad news in a different way. Looks like he's gotten everything taken care of, but a little bit of a cancer scare for Alex Singleton. Luckily, I mean, hats off to the guy. You can talk about it, what he did and where he's at now, but a true competitor on and off the field. That's all I got to say for Alex Singleton. We wish him the very best. Maybe you can update us a little bit more on that.
Yeah, pretty wild that they found testicular cancer and drug tests on Monday, and Thursday he played every snap on defense.
Yeah.
Friday he went in and got surgery. Sounds like he missed only a couple weeks, which is pretty amazing for the procedure they had to do. So hats off to him. And, count your lucky stars, I guess, because if he wouldn't have got that random drug test, who knows? And like I've heard from
I just want to say really quick, and go ahead. Just everybody, if you're out there, if you're a guy, I know that we're not one to run to the doctors and get things taken care of, but this is a great example of you never know until you know. And luckily, Alex caught this early, and he's going to be fine. But it could have been a lot worse, especially for him, his wife, and their brand new young baby. So glad that Alex got this taken care of. But go ahead, my friend.
That's what I was just going to add. It's not important to some people until it's important, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And by then it might be too late. So, but this is, Dre Greenlaw, he's kind of been in the wings, and we've been working him back, and now it's time for him to step up and, take leadership role of this linebacker room. And, there's a lot of people that wanted Sternad over Singleton as it was. So we're going to get it for a few weeks. Let's see this combination and see how it works out. And when Singleton's ready to come back, we'll fit him in where he fits in, I guess. But I'm excited I'm excited to see what Greenlaw can do. This is what everyone's been waiting for all season, and here we go.
Here we go. You're talking about it. He played like 65% of the snaps last week. We expect more this week. Alex Singleton being down, Justin Sternad will come in and he'll take that position for us in the meantime. And Justin Sternad looked really good, but Alex Singleton was looking really good as the season progressed, and we went from cursing the man to begin the season to really not mentioning him or mentioning him in the best of light. And I'm going to mention him in the best of light again tonight because I wish all the best for him, his family, and glad things got taken care of. Just another one I just wanted to hit real quick. Paul Tagliabue, he passed away. Former what am I trying to say here? Commissioner of the NFL. Sorry, NFL commissioner. Before we had Roger Goodell.
Yep.
Didn't take nearly the booze that Roger Goodell takes on draft night every single year. And really did a lot for the NFL. Expanded to 32 teams off of 28. Really band together the ownership. Got the big NFL deals that continues to allows us to increase our cap space year after year and absorb Russell Wilson contracts with ease, especially under the Sean Payton regime. But that being said, just a shout out to Paul Tagliabue. He, great commissioner during his time, and some of those who are younger may not even remember him, but was instrumental in what the NFL is today. So a little shout out to him as well. I want to hit a few more comments really quick. We got the Mile High Dutchie coming in here. He dropped the Mile High Dutchie out of there. Saw he had it in there the other day. Woohoo. Another new wide receiver and a familiar face is back. Two for the price of one. I think he's talking about me and you, man, because we don't charge a dang thing, and there's two of us on the screen. Marvin Mims back practicing, but also an addition that we've seen before on the wide receiver in the wide receiver room on this roster. Talk about it a little bit, man. Talk about Marvin Mims. Talk about the addition that we made.
The Broncos, they went and plucked Lil Jordan Humphreys off the New York Giants practice squad. I mean, he's a Sean Payton guy. He knows this offense. He had the most snaps of any wide receiver last year in this offense. So, I mean, I think he will fit right in. I expect him to dress Sunday. It sounds like Sherfield's battling a hamstring injury, and I think he will fit right into Sherfield's role on this offense. Might even do it a little bit better. He's put on a little weight, so he's kind of in between that wide receiver tight end mold. So I don't think it's a bad move if Sean Payton is hell-bent on having that third wide receiver out there just to block and that type of stuff. Little Jordan Humphreys is probably as good as it's going to get. So,
yeah, and nice addition. A wide receiver that obviously knows the system, and like you said, a Sean Payton guy. So, I think we can. I think we can take a little bit of solace in that. I guess he's going to come in and quickly integrate into the system. It's not going to be a guy that's blind to who Sean Payton is, the way he calls plays, and who Bo Nix is, and what his expectations are as he goes out there. So it'll be interesting. I did find it interesting that even though Marvin Mims is working his way back and he's practicing now, and it looks like he's going to be able to maybe clear all protocols, fingers crossed, that you go out there and pick up a little Jordan Humphrey at this time. Any correlation there for you, Jody, or zero correlation?
With Mims, zero. I think this is all Sherfield and his hamstring injury. And, to be able to go pluck this guy who led the Broncos last year in snaps on offense the most snaps as a wide receiver on offense is, I mean, yes, you could say is pretty lucky because it falls right. I mean, should be a seamless transition, really.
Yeah.
I think he's been in Denver for 2 years now. Denver wanted him and just lost him to the Giants because they put him on the 53 at the beginning of the season. So, if you need to replace Sherfield, this is probably the guy you want available, and it costs you nothing. So,
yeah, easy pick up off the practice squad, like you said. bring him back in. Yeah, I Jody, I told you right before we went live that I wasn't in touch with everything. I'm like, what are you talking about as far as injuries? He gives me one name. And J.K. Dobbins. All of a sudden, he's like dropping. Well, I think it's all about Trent Sherfield's injury. Thanks a lot, Jody. Leave me out here looking like a doofus. I appreciate it, man. No, the addition is good. I'll take it. Like I said, quick assimilation into this offense for Sean Payton. Phil McLaughlin's coming in, and he's dropping stars, man. And even though he's getting a little ahead of the game, because we usually talk about, the matchup on Friday, he's got a question, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you. Good evening, Keith and Judge. I'll answer as well, but you get the first stab at this. Would you rather have a 10-3 victory or a 28-3 or 28-21 victory? So big defensive battle, hold the Kansas City Chiefs just 3 points, walk away with only a touchdown on the board, 10-3 victory, or you get some points. Maybe you get 3 touchdowns from Bo Nix in a 28-21 victory, but the defense doesn't look nearly as good as what maybe some of their other games they've been in this season so far. Which way would you go, man?
The way the offense has been playing this year, I would rather see a 28-21 game, because that means the offense is hopefully the offense is the one putting up the 28 points, and the defense can still have a great game and give up 21 points. So I would definitely take the 28-21 type game.
I'm going to agree with you. And by the way, Phil dropping stars as well, man. I didn't mention that, but Phil, thank you for your support. 100 stars. I'm going to go with you, man, and I'll let you elaborate after that, man. If I had to go one way or the other just to see the offensive get going, I'd love to see that 28-21 victory. I think we have a good idea of what the Denver Broncos defense could do, and I also have a feeling that they could maybe get that 10-3 victory later in the season if need be, because of how they played so far. But at 28 points against a great team like the Kansas City Chiefs, hey, they are a great team, guys, and they're coming on strong, and they've gotten all their personnel back. So not trying to give love to the Kansas City Chiefs, but they're going to be a tough opponent right around the bend. Go ahead and elaborate, my friend.
And I was just going to say, if we see another 10-3 game and the outcome how it flustered Bo, and you could just see it in the game, this is the first time I've really seen him crack under pressure, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, and just look like he was out of sorts and frustrated and just some different things. I don't think a 10-3 victory is going to help that cause.
That's fair.
At this point, I would take a 100-99 game, because at least we've seen the defense for 10 games do it. We really have not seen the offense do it, if that makes sense. So anything that can get Bo back on track is what I'm after this game.
Roy says, hey there, Horseman and the Posse, with the news. Writing within the last couple of days, we may be in trouble. I imagine he's talking about that Trent Sherfield. I imagine he's talking about that Marvin Mims. It's going to be a tougher game, and the Kansas City Chiefs are getting healthy at the right time, that the Broncos are maybe shifting to another side. But, I want to shift as well, man. I talked about this being a State of the Broncos type of episode, so I'm going to kick it off, man. I'm going to talk about the State of the Broncos, man, because I started thinking about this like a State of the Union, right? Sometimes, and I think this is a quote from if I remember, maybe White Men Can't Jump. I might be wrong. Sometimes when you're winning, you're losing. And sometimes when you're losing, you're winning. And even though we're 8-2, I think there's a lot of questions out there for Broncos country. So I want to hit it, man. And I want to hit it maybe step by step, man. First one I got, man, for us is free agents, man. We picked up a couple of key free agents. And I'm just going to say it, man. I know there was a lot of hype around Talanoa Hufanga, but there was a lot more hype around Dre Greenlaw. And I know that Dre Greenlaw has had his setbacks, but Talanoa Hufanga has been the man from the drop. Talk about some of the free agents we brought in. Those are the two key ones right there, man. And how do you think they're doing so far as they've assimilated in? Don't forget about J.K. Dobbins, guy that you talked about. It's going to be maybe a key absence in this next game.
No, I think all three have been great, but we'll start with Talanoa Hufanga. I think he's been the best safety in football. Just what he does, he can cover, he can just do a lot of different things, and it's pretty incredible to watch what he can do out there. Dre Greenlaw, he's working himself back, but the first game he played 20 snaps and had like 8 tackles. Last game, I think he had a sack. The goal, maybe it wasn't last game, the game before, he had the goal line stand where he just, against Houston, 3 stops right there at the goal line. So, sitting him out the 4 games, it didn't hurt us at all, and this is where we want him back healthy for the stretch run. And then Dobbins, he's 5th in rushing, Denver's top 10 in rushing the ball, which seems wacky. A lot of it's still not balanced. A lot of it's in fourth quarter. I wish it was more balanced throughout the game, but he's a patient runner. He's been incredible, and we're really going to see it Sunday with the three other backs. I assume they'll call Jalil up. What we're missing. Hopefully someone steps up and can kind of hold the reins for a couple weeks. Because like I said, he was the one guy of anyone on this team other than Bo that I didn't want to see go down just because of the way he's been running the football and what it's brought to this team.
I think that's a big point right there, man. What he's been doing for this team. I don't think if you would have started off the season, maybe it's just me, Posse, you can chime in. I know, Jody, you were a lot. I feel like you were big on Dobbins from kind of the get, so maybe you're excluded from this conversation. But I expected a lot from Dre Greenlaw. I expected a decent amount from Talanoa Hufanga. And even though we moved on from Javonte Williams and we were going to need a running back, I didn't expect J.K. Dobbins to be the type of impact player that he is for this Denver Broncos team. As it is, it looks like right now he'll blow away any type of 1,000-yard season within 10 games in. He's dang near out of 700 yards as it is, if I remember correctly. So it's almost dang near, it's in the bag almost. I knock on wood, cross your fingers, whatever it happens to be, there's no reason he shouldn't be able to crack the 1,000-yard mark. And he has been one of the largest impacts for this team, getting it done when we needed to. You talked about it, Jody, a lot in the fourth quarter. That means that, we really don't get him going through 3 quarters. He's having to produce those numbers in a limited amount of time. We've looked at the first half stats, and it's not where Sean Payton goes to run the ball. So big key addition for us, and probably the most underestimated, at least in my opinion. Talanoa Hufanga has been phenomenal, and everyone talked about it from the get, but he loves him. He looks at him as almost a mentor, and that's Troy Polamalu, and he plays like a man. He's up around the line of scrimmage. He's always willing to put the hit in. Talanoa Hufanga has been a huge impact. Dre Greenlaw, yes, we've seen him impact, but I think the best is yet to come for Dre Greenlaw, and probably going to be forced a little bit quicker into action with the injury or the surgery, I should say, with Alex Singleton. And again, best thoughts and prayers to him. But Dre Greenlaw has every opportunity to be just as much, if not maybe even more of an impact than what we've seen from the other two, and Hufanga and Dobbins as well. Great free agent class pickup for George Payton, Sean Payton. Just hats off to them and what they've done, and those three pieces that they brought in, especially when you're on a limited budget with what we had going on with the salary cap as well.
Right. I mean, you're still eating $35 million of Russ's deal, so to go out and get those two guys, and I mean, you probably did get them a little on the discount because of the injury history, but just Talanoa Hufanga, I mean, he's been around all year. He's been healthy. I think that's in the past with him. And even Greenlaw, since he's come back from this quad, we knew it was a problem. And when we and I don't have a problem with them holding him out longer for this stretch run. So if he can stay healthy the rest of the season, then I'm more than happy with our signings. Over the last couple of years, we really have not signed anyone that's, been injury bust or anything like that, other than really Randy Gregory. I can't think of anyone, and I'll exclude Russ, but other than that, we really have not signed anyone that hadn't fit in. Brandon Jones had injury history. He came in and he's fit right in. Just everyone has fit in smooth, and they're making the right things, right, getting the right people in here. And if Bo can just tweak it just a little bit, and this O can tweak it just a little bit, where it's just not complete dog poo like it was last Thursday. I don't know. The AFC is wide open. There's not an elite team this year.
That is true. I love Jody, man. He loves to jump ahead, man. He's like, but then Bo, this next game, we're going to talk about that. I'm like, we're talking about free agents at this point, but I get you, man. I get you what you're talking about, man. Great additions, great pieces that have been put around. Bo's been helped by the addition of J.K. Dobbins, this defense with Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga. As far as free agents that we've brought in that haven't worked out, the only other one I would jump to my mind was a cornerback that had a bad game in Cleveland one time, and then was quickly let go after that. But outside of that, I think you're right. We've done pretty dang well for ourselves. I think we have a little bit of time before we hit our break, at least to talk about one player in the rookie class, and we'll just go through it, man. Let's talk about Jahdae Barron. I think a lot of people were a little bit disappointed when he didn't get his, opportunities, and he wasn't showing out to begin with. I don't want PS2 to ever go down, but obviously PS2's departure has pressed him into the lineup a little bit more. But even before that, I think we started to see Jahdae Barron getting worked into the mix. What are your thoughts about Jahdae Barron, first-round draft pick by the Denver Broncos, and his impact so far this season? You happy with what he's got, or are you looking more towards the future? And if you're looking towards the future, what are your thoughts on where he's headed?
In the beginning of the season, I thought it came along a little slow, but these last handful of games, they're starting to use him as that tight end, covering the tight ends, and it was apparent last, against the Raiders. I think Brock Bowers had one catch. So he locked Brock Bowers down, who was coming off a massive game against Jacksonville the week before. So he's starting to, they're starting to get him more snaps. It's just hard to get him on the field right now. I mean, you have PS2. I mean, he has been hurt the last couple games, but then Riley Moss, who, whatever you want to think, the stats still back up that he gets the most balls thrown his way and gives up the least amount of catches and different things. And I think you have the best nickel back in football in Jaleel McLaughlin. So it's hard to crack this lineup. So they've been using him in the right way, and he's coming along. And next year I look for bigger things. It'll be interesting to see what they do next year. Do they re-sign McLaughlin? What they do there, because he's the one guy that I've kind of set on this defense that has a deal coming up that I don't want to see go. So it'll be interesting there. But I've been happy. I've been happy with what he's brought to this team, and with PS2 being down, it's been more important that we did draft a cornerback there.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Nice to have the depth at this point. Nice to have Albert in here in the comment with his Mile High Dutchie over on YouTube. Just reminding us that Bowers kept, or Barron, Sade Barron kept Brock Bowers in check in this last game, which was a big piece of what we were concerned about and was matched up quite a bit with Bowers. So don't get me wrong, we got after Geno Smith, and that helped a little bit too, but Sade Barron did a fine job out there on Brock Bowers as well. Roy Osborne says, I wish we had more time with you guys on Lil Jordan Humphrey signing and how he will not raise the needle. He's going to be no different, but think about this as a preface to what I really want to say. 3 tight ends and run the jumbo side. That would be cool. That would be cool. You get Lil Jordan Humphreys, you get your tight ends mix in there. You get a Pat Bryant out there, no block, no rock. There's a lot of opportunity to put some helmets on heads and get some run game going. I think a lot of people are looking for that, and along that line, a lot of people calling out like Paul that this is RJ's chance and maybe a highlight reel for Jaleel. Opportunities for these running backs, as we talked a little bit earlier about J.K. Dobbins being down. We'll continue on this not the free agent class, but the rookie class here in just a second. But I want to talk about our amazing sponsor, and that's Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices. Once a nationwide company, now they hang out in your backyard, northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, doing as many shows as they possibly can. If there's a fairgrounds, if there's a dog show, gem show, you name it, in your area, most guarantee that Morgan Trinkets is going to probably make it out to that show, and you could frequent them there. But if you don't make it out of the show or Morgan Trinkets isn't there, best way I know, head on over to Etsy and type in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. And you'll have everything that Morgan Trinkets has to offer. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free, and all major credit cards are accepted over there. Good old Pearl Heater also has an eBay account, and if you type in Pearl Heat, you'll also find what Morgan Trinkets has to offer, and all conditions apply over there on eBay. You know how it works. Check out Morgan Trinkets, man. Holidays are around the corners. I know I'm already trying to think about what I need to stash because it's already November, and before you know it, boys and girls, we're going to be talking Christmas time. So get yourself taken care of. Maybe Morgan Trinkets is it. Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold, wholesale prices. Check them out. Lots of different draft picks we could end up talking about here. But let's move right on to probably the next biggest one for you, Jody. Who do you got, buddy?
Sorry, for draft picks, you said?
Yeah. We already got first round out of the way. Who's next on the list? I think it might be a running back.
I'm actually going to go a different direction.
Okay.
I mean, he's had some exciting plays, but I'm going to go your punter that you drafted.
Who? Jeremy Crawshaw. I drafted, man. I'm not George Payton, man. We all drafted him. No, go ahead, buddy.
I think Denver's like number 2 in the league in punts this year, which is not good. And other than the couple shanks he had in the Raiders games, he's been pretty incredible, flipping the field and different things. So it's not really a good sign that he's probably our second best draft pick, but from where he was in preseason and all the people that talked about how long till we bring in another punter, I think he's done pretty well this year. So
that's a bold statement after last game, man. He had a rough game last game versus the
He
Raiders.
did, and I don't know how much, because I didn't get too in depth with it. If you watch at the beginning of the game, they were setting the ball down and the wind was blowing it and stuff. So I don't know if that had anything to do with him dropping it and shanking it. I don't know. I'm not. He'll probably tell you it didn't, but I don't know. It was a bad game, but I'll take 9 out of 10. That's still an A in passing, and I think he's been good the rest of the season. So
has been good the rest of the season. And Jeremy Crawshaw, thank goodness, because you don't go out there and draft punters all that often. Denver Broncos did it. So far, it's paying off. And we talk about it all the time here, man. 3 phases of the game, man. Special teams don't sell them short. I really like Scott Kennedy over there. He covers the Falcons. The Falcons lost by a point because their kicker couldn't put an extra point through to get it to overtime. I mean, that's the ultimate, like, special teams matter type of play. So I've been very happy with Jeremy Crawshaw, and hopefully he just gets back on track. One game, a little bit of a preseason, no worries. He's been fantastic this season and has been a big part of what we've been able to do, because when this offense can't go out there and perform, and you're able to punt it 73 yards and put it into the end zone for a net 53, no return, that works. That works pretty dang well. Would have been better if we could have got a 72-yard punt and down at the 1, but I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
I will say I hope that he doesn't get back on track this game, just because I hope we don't see much of him.
Yeah, no opportunity, right?
Right.
I like that. Well, I alluded to RJ Harvey a little bit earlier. You took us a different track with Jeremy Crawshaw, but RJ Harvey and the commenters have mentioned it. I'm sure it's top of mind for you as well, Jody. Big game coming up for RJ Harvey. J.K. Dobbins so far has not been able to practice as of last practice. Not looking good for him to go after that hip drop tackle that he suffered and a little bit of an ankle injury on, even though he went out there and he finished. I don't know if anybody has had an ankle injury. Sometimes if you just keep it moving, it's good. And once you stop, it's all a different story then. I think that's where RJ Harvey's at. Because of that, our rookie, RJ Harvey, is going to have to really, really step up in this game, man. What are your thoughts about RJ Harvey so far this season? What are your thoughts about maybe him coming up in this game versus the Chiefs?
I think it started off slow, but he's picked it up. They've started to integrate him more in the offense, a lot more in the passing game. He had a big game against Dallas. He had a clutch touchdown against Houston. But now is his chance. I think he's going to get the start. He can get the bulk of the carries if he can just be patient like Dobbins is, and some of those things, and keep the ball rolling. What's going to be key is if Sean Payton leaves him in on passing downs, does he make a big mistake in pass protection, or does he stick his nose in there and show Sean it's he's the guy that he can trust? So this is a big game for him. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can offer. I mean, I'm excited to see it. There were a lot of other running backs that I wanted over him when he was drafted, but now is the time he can put a lot of doubters to rest.
A lot of doubters to rest and maybe put himself a little bit on the map. You'd start talking about those other running backs, Ashton Genty was at the top of the list, hasn't necessarily broken out like most people would have expected. Amarian Hampton, that was chosen by the Chargers, obviously injured, so he hasn't been able to put up any stats. Travion Henderson finally got his breakout game, really, in this last one with the Patriots, but before that, hasn't necessarily set the league on fire. So, yeah, I think there's an opportunity here for RJ Harvey to do that. I got one question for you when it comes to RJ Harvey in this upcoming game. Well, I told everybody that you were the one that was jumping the gun on this upcoming game, but now I got a question for you. Would you rather see RJ Harvey out there in a passing situation with the potential of missing blocks or not being the best blocker out there? Or would you rather have Tyler Bidet out there who's a better blocker, but once he's been in the backfield, you know dang well it's going to be a running play, and there's no possibility it's going to be it's going to be a passing play, and there's no possibility it's going to be a running play. Kind of illustrating to the defense exactly what's going to be going on. Do you take the risk with RJ, or do you run Bidet out there for the coverage?
I think I take the risk with Harvey to start off, but the first easy blitz pickup that he misses, I think the leash is pretty short with him, and it's pretty much the only reason in my opinion, Tyler Bidet is on this roster. He's only had 2 carries this year, but he's had a lot of snaps in pass pro. So, and Bo Nix is second in the NFL in pass attempts. So it's going to be interesting to see is where Sean goes with this game. Is he going to commit to running the football and using these guys, or is it going to be let Bo throw it 40 or 50 times? Because if that's the case, I'll roll with Harvey until, like I said, till he misses an easy pickup, and then his time back there may be short because you need to protect Bo.
Roy says, I think they might have a different game plan for RJ. He will be part of the plan, however. So thinking that maybe a different mindset when it comes to RJ Harvey, and, a lot of different opportunities to call up running backs. Roger says the biggest problem with the offense is the penalties. It's the lack of discipline or coaching. Is it a lack of discipline and coaching? Is it something that we can turn around quickly? Roger's question, man. Penalties have not been good. The Denver Broncos have been one of the most penalized teams, if not the most penalized team in the NFL. Is this a lack of discipline on the offense? Is it a lack of coaching by the coaches themselves? I do have the coaches here on the list of things that we could talk about, but we're talking about a little different context. What do you think about Roger's comment? Is it all on the players? Is it on the coaches as well?
To me, it's both. A lot of the false starts and different things, that's a mental thing, and that's a lot on the players. But a lot of these delays and hurrying up and not getting set and different things because we're having to sub in packages like every other play, that's on the coaching staff. That's definitely on the coaching. And it's something I think this week you'll see a lot less of, especially after they caught Bo Nix on, audio last week. I mean, he get the effing plays in, you could hear him, and he
get
yelled
the personnel in.
Get the personnel in. There was no denying what he said, and it was pretty apparent. And I think that's part of the frustration. And so I think this mini bye fell at the right time where they can clean some of those things up. Hopefully this is a game where it all finally comes together and they look like a competent offense.
We might have to cut out coaches just based on the time, man. But I do want to hit the rookie class a little bit more, man. Give me your thoughts on Pat Bryant, man. I had a lot of hopes, a lot of excitement I don't know, a lot of confidence in what Pat Bryant did in college and what he could possibly bring to the Denver Broncos. Now, we've seen him get integrated a little bit more as the season has went on. But I think there's more opportunity there. What are your thoughts on Pat Bryant, how he's done, and how big of a weapon he could be for this Denver Broncos team for the rest of the year and potentially moving forward as well?
I'd like to see more from him in the passing game, but in the blocking game, I think he's been phenomenal. I think that's part of the why you're seeing a lot of big plays from Dobbins. But it kind of just falls back to the offense as a whole has just been inept. And other than Troy Franklin, because of the connection he has with Bo, even Sutton's not getting targeted a lot these last handful of games. So same with Ingram. There's just nothing is really clicking, and so I don't hold that against Pat. I think the limited balls he's had his way, he's made incredible catches, and I'd like to see a bigger role for him, down the stretch.
I think he's got the ability. He was a touchdown machine. We haven't necessarily seen that so far this year. Obviously, he's got his first touchdown, but I just mean he was key in the red zone in college. I think that's another opportunity we could possibly dial a few things up for Pat Bryant. I'm going to lump the last two just in one big package, man, because I don't think there's any reason not to. Savion Jones, Q Robinson. I mean, we do have one of the top defenses in the league. There's not why upset the apple cart, I guess, in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And trying to get these guys integrated. How do you feel about those picks, their integration into the team this year, and I guess, like I said, on some of these other players, how they'll do moving forward?
First to Savion Jones, I don't know who you're gonna sit if you bring him up. So I think it's just a numbers game there. And then kind of the same with Q Robinson. He may be 50-50 this week that you see him, depending on how bad Jonah Ellis's groin is. But the couple of games he's been up, he's made plays on defense. He's flashed. So I think he's going to be good, and he's a good rotational piece. It's just, you got two incredible starters, and you got Jonah Ellis, should be a starter anywhere else. And then you got DeAndre Tillman, who's turning into an interception guy and different things. So it's just hard to see the field for these two guys. So I can't say that they're bad picks. It was a numbers game. It's a numbers game right now. So
good to have depth. Good to be so good that you have depth stacked up that you don't know what to do with. The Philadelphia Eagles have been known as a team like that, especially on defense, where they just had so many great players. They didn't know what to do. And that's changed a little bit over time as they win championships, and, players and coaches tend to exit during that time as well. But just a tough rotation to get into. A couple of great players. Maybe they get their opportunities as the season progresses and as the years progress as well. DeAndre Tillman, if he keeps doing what he's doing and we have any trouble at cornerback, I'm just saying maybe we can drop him into coverage. He can play a little corner, a little safety. No, I mean, honestly, the guy's just, got a nose for the ball and got a knack for reeling them in and even getting a few yards after the case. So good on him, man. I love to see it. Last one, and this is the reason I thought that we might need to pull this just a little bit short and maybe pull the coach's side of things, though this could definitely integrate in, Jody. Second year for Bo Nix. And before the season started, we all had questions. Sophomore slump, no sophomore slump. We have an 8-2 record, but we've been carried by the defense. We've had some of the most improbable fourth quarter comebacks and comeback wins, propelled by a quarterback in Bo Nix in a lot of those. So it's not an easy evaluation, I feel, but I want to get an evaluation from you, from the posse, from guys like Clayton coming in and saying, hey, guys, smash that like and share button. Clayton, good to see you, my friend. I'd like to get your thoughts on Bo Nix in his second year, where he's at, where he's heading, and how you feel about him within the season. Jody, take it away, and posse, please, by all means, jump in on Bo Nix.
It's been wildly inconsistent, in my opinion. I mean, he's best fourth quarter QB this year, but the first three quarters have not been good. And I don't know what's happened the last couple games, but it just seems like he's lost all sorts of confidence. I'm not sure why. I don't know if he's not seeing the field. I'm not sure what it is, and I think that's where people can say happy feet and different things, but I think it starts with not seeing the field, and he's rushing things in his mind, which are leading to the happy feet. So, but we've seen this last year, and after the mini bye, it started in that Carolina game. He settled down and kind of went on this stretch, and they were throwing the ball across the middle, and they opened some things, or they stretched the field, and it just seemed to be clicking. So I'm hoping that this little mini bye was, does a repeat of last year, because it fell at a great time, because he just looked all sorts of lost and dejected, confused, and different things, Thursday night. I've never seen him like that before, and you can tell the double clutching, just some of that stuff, just out there like we're doing trick throws. The way he was throwing, he doesn't set his feet, any of that stuff. It's just, and I hope they get back to it. It's something that, he's been asked about, Sean Payton's been asked about, so I know it's getting addressed and worked on. So hopefully they get it figured out, and if they can, this, like I've said, this team is, why can't they be the Super Bowl AFC representative?
Yeah, and I think Clayton's almost reiterating that with this last comment he had come in. He says, but his bad habits can be fixed, and he knows he can get it done at the same time. I want to hit this one too. Clayton says we're 8-2. The good, the bad, and the ugly. 8-2. Can't complain too much, guys. Also, he says Bo has his moments, but he's still young. A lot to learn, but I absolutely stand with Bo Nix, the fix. Bo has had his struggles, man, and I think part of it, and I'm going to put it right at the feet of the coaching, Jody. You talked about it ad nauseum. Bo Nix doesn't take sacks. Bo Nix also bails out of the pocket quicker than any quarterback I've seen. I think that it will get addressed. I think that this is a long season, and I wanted to hit Albert's comment, the Mile High Dutchie, as well. He says Bo is doing just fine. Might disagree a little bit there. Gets us wins. He's tired with that extreme schedule, and they have been on a little bit of extreme schedule. East Coast, over to London, back. Still haven't had a bye week. 10 games into the season. I mean, it's just like it's been a little bit of a gauntlet. I put a lot of this last game on preparation, game plan, limited amount of time to actually implement it, walk through it, not actually be able to actually suit up, get into pads, and actually go through that entire practice like you would in a regular week. So I'm not going to put too much on the Raiders. I mean, I would have liked to see, obviously a lot better performance, but that being said, I think there was a lot of obstacles in the way of a great performance. Now, here's the time. and we'll be talking about this more on Friday, Jody. I hope you can make it, man. I'd love to have you there. But we'll be talking about this Chiefs game and how it breaks down because you got extra time. And I know the Chiefs got extra time, but we got extra time. We got extra time to game plan, to walk through every single practice, to really lock in on some of those things that we do worst as players, as a team, as coaches, and make sure that those points that we're the worst at become our strengths, or at least we find ways to combat them as we go up against a big AFC West rival opponent. We'll be talking about them on Friday, but it's huge, man. Huge, really quick. I do want to bring in our good friend Michael Ronquillo coming in here with a Mile High salute, saying Keith and Jody and Gobo Broncos, Orange and Blue Hearts. Good to see you, Michael Ronquillo. I'll check to see if you drop stars like I typically usually see from you, and I appreciate you a ton. But Bo Nix, man, I think that he's going to be the key, Jody. He's going to be the key. But like one of our friends in the posse said, hey, we're not giving up on Bo Nix quite yet, man. I mean, as many struggles as he's had, we're not ready to throw him out with the baby in the bathwater.
Yeah, I'm definitely not out on Nix. Now, if we're at the same point next year and we're seeing the same problems, then I think we're at a turning point, because you have an elite defense, and can you waste that with scoring 10 points on offense?
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to look too far ahead, man. Honestly, I think that the potential is there. So whether it's wasted by the player, whether it's wasted by the coaches, that will be the question. But I'm not going to give up in any capacity. And yes, Michael Ronquillo dropping 100 stars as he's alluded to as well. So thank you very much, Michael. Bo Nix has all the qualities, all the talent, has the players around him, has the coaches, and Jody, we've went around the league, we've had opponents, we know those other teams that great talent can go to and get spoiled. I think that everything is right here for Bo Nix. I understand that. I understand it might be a little bit difficult, but right now. But I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in Michael Ronquillo saying that Bo Nix deleted his social media account. So there is that. Lock in, focus in. No time for that, I guess. Man, these episodes, man, I tell you what, man, they absolutely fly by, my friend. They fly by, man. Try to cram it all in. Didn't get to near as many comments as I wanted to, but we're going to have a bye week coming up. But before that, we have our Denver Bronco Roundup preview of the Chiefs game. That's going to be coming up on this Friday. We go live on Wednesday and Friday about 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Facebook, on YouTube. We also are out there on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We come back with a post-game reaction show. Don't miss out on the post-game reaction. It's always the funnest and best episode of the entire week. Not to put down and or belittle in any way the morning juice, which we also comes in on Friday, on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you're up and at 'em on a Monday morning, check out the morning juice. We go all around the NFL, including your Denver Broncos as well. Jody, hours in the books. Can't believe it. Like I said, another fantastic episode, but we need to get some final thoughts in, whether it be about the state of the Broncos or the state of the Broncos moving forward. What are your thoughts before we jump on out of here and say goodbye to the posse?
It hadn't been perfect, but we're 8-2, tie for the best record in football. So I'm excited where we can go. There is not an elite team on either side or in either conference. Everything is wide open, in my opinion, so everything is in front of you. This is a game where you can pretty much eliminate Kansas City from winning this division. In my opinion, you put them 3.5 games basically back because you'd hold the tiebreaker over them. So this is a big game. And I've said it for a while now. I think will be Bo's best game of the season. I think everybody will be locked in and focused. And I expect to see Denver 9-2 after this game. And I will be there in person to watch it, good, bad, or ugly. And hopefully we can end the reign of the Chiefs, because I'm over it.
Jody, I'm not going to let you get out of here that easy and you just saying, oh, and by the way, I'm going to be at the game. Awesome. Enjoy it. What a fantastic game to go to. AFC West rivalry. Huge matchup. We need the win. Jody, you mentioned it before we went live. You've been to about, give or take about 15 games. How many times have you seen the Denver Broncos lose?
Knock on wood, I never.
Never. Not one, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take that 15-0. Jody, go get us a win, buddy. Go enjoy that game. Enjoy the heck out of it. It should be a fantastic one. And let's walk away with a win. We'll talk more about the Broncos and the Chiefs on Friday. Make sure you're hitting that notification button so you're not missing out when we come back. I think it's going to be a fantastic episode as we break down this Chiefs and Broncos matchup. Broncos need to get this win. Chiefs need to get the win. It's going to be huge, huge. Been a huge night with all of you. Man, the posse, you were rocking. I didn't get to near as many comments as we talked way too much. We appreciate everything that you chimed in with. If nothing else, I was trying to throw your comments up on the screen. Like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube. 3 Denver Bronco Roundup podcasts, Denver Bronco podcasts per week, plus the morning juice. Please go out there, like, share, subscribe. Do like Phil does, and he drops stars whenever he possibly can. He says, since Bo is auditioning for Dancing with the Stars, would it help to hurry the offense from the start? I'm not sure. Would it help to hurry the offense from the start? I mean, I think that whether he's Dancing with the Stars or whatever it happens to be, let's get a quick start, Phil. That's what we need. If that helps him get a better start, absolutely. I'm all for it, man. But thanks for dropping the stars. Appreciate the support. Can't wait for the bye week. Maybe we'll have some special things going on there. It is a joke. Yeah, I didn't get the joke. I'm sorry, but I appreciate you trying to make me laugh, Phil. Yeah, maybe he gets a quick star with Dancing with the Stars. For all of you, though, I appreciate all the love and support. Check out Morgan Trinkets if you get a chance for all your Southwest jewelry, pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices. Check out Rocky Mountain SN for whenever we drop a great article over there. Love to get your thoughts on those. But we got to get out of here the way we always do. Boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and, of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Until Friday, y'all take care, and can't wait to see you then. We're out of here. Mile High Salute-wise. Have a good night, everybody.